GM didn't feel like surrounding the edge with metal. See how it's plastic? You got some riveted metal, 1, 2, 3, but they're not connected with metal. But then for some reason over here they gave us a metal rail because it's on the outside, I suppose. But then look at this, there's nothing down here. And this whole thing is all broken. So I'm gonna pull this, clean the speedo. I'm gonna epoxy a bracket in here that looks just like this one, because it's just missing over here. And there's nothing to attach the lower column support to. So we're gonna give it a trip to the hospital here and patch it up. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up with some tape, fill it all in with epoxy. All these broken areas. I'm gonna try to rebuild one of these onto this side because it's all missing. So I think I'll use this bracket here, straighten this out, and slip it in there and mimic this side. Okay, to get my bracket in the right spot, I popped this thing on the back, and this is my eyeball of the bracket. And you know what? I like it. I slipped it under the plastic, and now I'm going to epoxy everything together under this, and all right here, and I think it's going to fit pretty good. Might need it there. Push it in slightly. So there it is. I'm going to get this thing structurally rigid again, hopefully. All right, we're going into surgery, or at least we're doing an operation on the back of this 1968 Corvette dash housing for the speedo and the tachometer. Broken here. There's missing plastic all the way there. Missing this whole area here. There's no metal tab here. So getting we're gonna shore this up with some fiberglass and epoxy, kind of like the rest of the car. This piece here, it was cracked, and then I tried to squeeze it in place with the pliers. Some you know, kind of pliers that stay vice grips. Yeah. And then I broke it some more because this tab was just like leaning out. So we're gonna lay on some glue. Then I'm gonna cut some cloth and put in here because epoxy alone isn't gonna cut it. I mean, it will if it's not gonna get moved. But just driving down the road and you hit some potholes, I mean, the whole car moves and bounces and shakes. So it's all kinds of stresses on the car. So yeah, fiberglass cloth on top of some of this epoxy, not all of it. I just want to feed it in here carefully. I don't want to get it on other things that might need to be taken apart later by someone else in the future. So this would be a main area where I want to lay some glass right across this. So I'm going to wet this down right here. So I think I'm going to have a piece of glass going from over this metal all the way up right here. And that's gonna make a nice repair out of this. What I bought, this car. No one tells you this stuff. It's auction. You just take your chances. So even though it is a piece of shit, it's still a 68 Corvette, and I'm glad that I'm experiencing it, although I do plan on selling it soon. And I'll tell them to buy all this stuff. So I'm directing to watch the videos. I normally I rock out during repairs, but I have to turn it down because YouTube doesn't like me doing that. And the band gets the credit for the video, not that it's going to be that great. But... So I can barely hear my music. It's playing. You can't hear it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's do hyperlapse now. Just out of the operating room. Laid in all the fiberglass and epoxy right over all the cracking. Just to nicely rebuild. And then I used the tape as a sling to sling it back up into position because it was just sagging so bad. It was just so broken. And this metal is actually a former car part. Now it will be happy to be part of a car again. I slipped that metal, like I said, all the way up under there. You can see there's just the tail end of the metal. So that should, it's way up right there. So I will now be able to bolt this thing, which I'm also repairing, back into place.